Mr. Jwalant Swarupji. He is an eminent name among media and marketing fraternity. He is recognized for transcending challenging boundaries to attain great heights. In the 3 decades he has spent in the industry, he has been a catalyst of change due to his thinking, power of expression, and style of functioning. A master of relationship management, he has synchronized a number of teams to organizational goals through personal mentoring and training. We welcome Jwalant Swarupji to this platform.
Thank you so much, Monica, and I'm so happy to see my old friends here. Chopra Saab, namaskar, and
Namaskar.
it is so
Yeah,
much fun to see you after such a long time,
thank you for giving me,
right?
providing
And
this opportunity. About 15 minutes back, he just told me we are
right,
having a seminar, so I decided to join and give up my other meetings. Yeah,
so nice of you. I know that you are such a
thank
busy
you.
person, and taking time out really means a lot to us. Rajan, I mean, good to see you, friend, and such a pleasure. Rajan is a technology guy, and I have seen Rajan evolving over a period of time, and it is so much fun to see you, Rajan, today. Thank you for
So
joining.
blessings, Jolanji.
Thank you so much. And Khushbu, how are you? And finally, I'm able to see you too. So
And
God bless
you
you, and
well.
I hope all well at home. Yes,
Yes.
great. So let's come back to our agenda the way it is, and let
Yeah,
Monica drive it. Yeah,
it's
go
a
ahead,
small
Monica.
world. I see it's a small world now.
Yes, of course,
It is. It is.
of
So
course.
we'll begin this learning session by an interesting session from Bhavna Bindra ji, and she's going to take us through her interesting session. Let us see what she has in her bucket for us.
Thank you, Monica, and really happy to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. Happy Ho and Marvin coming together to pull together this session, and really a pleasure to be talking to all of you. You've already heard my introduction, so I'm not going to say anything on myself, but yes, I'd like to share some thoughts here, and most of what I share is based on my personal experience. So I'm hoping it will resonate with some of you, and given all the experience that's there in this group, I'm very sure there's a lot more that each one of you can add. It's just about how we think and bring perspective to each other. So please feel free to share your thoughts and reflections once I have had a chance to share mine. Every time somebody talks about sharing their learnings or guiding somebody, there's always this part of each one of us which either it clicks with, which means it resonates with you, or sometimes it's just something which just stays with you. It may not resonate or click with you. So for instance, I remember my late father. He was a strong believer on natural healing, on Ayurveda, on yoga, acupressure. And every time there was something which I would complain about, he would tell me, "Oh, why don't you try doing this? Why don't you try doing that?" And I would be like, yeah, I'll do it. And, not sure whether I believed in it, not sure it would benefit me. So every time somebody shares something, there's only a part of it that stays with us. There's some part of it that moves away. But then for the part that stays with us, I think that kind of what becomes very ingrained in us. It's something we really move forward with. And for me, it's important that, every time there's some sharing or some learning, some teaching, some guiding that happens with me, uh, there are questions, there are reflections, there are, things which you want to delve into more. And it's important that for the person who's sharing his learnings, to be there, to be able to clarify, to be able to discuss, to be able to comment. Of course, when we talk about somebody like the Buddha, we don't really have the opportunity to be discussing. And I'm obviously, as we go back centuries ago, I'm sure all the disciples and pupils that the Buddha had that enormous opportunity to ingrain. So the learnings have come over the years with us. There are so many scholars. But for me, what I realize is everything that the Buddha shared, based on his enlightenment, his learnings, is something which is as applicable today as it was centuries ago, whatever, 4,000 years ago. Our kind of practices, the whole ethos has very much remained the same. So one simple thing that the Buddha used to talk about was about how everything changes and nothing is permanent. And in our current life, how often we hear about change is the only constant. But then every time change happens, and if I think of, I mean, everybody here is very familiar with the business world, the corporate world, and every time I think about whenever change happens, we've got plans, we are executing on our plans or about to execute, and something changes in the environment, in the market, in the regulations, in the way competition behaves, and it kind of throws off our plans. I mean, last year for a lot of businesses was a classic example of how change can come about absolutely unexpectedly, right? But then the point is, if this change is something that is inevitable, then why not just accept it? And by when I say, accepting it, it is about saying, okay, this is something which is part of life. We need to take it on. In fact, in businesses, and we'll park the pandemic for a minute, but in businesses, how often do we see examples that companies which are dynamic and agile enough to adopt and accept the changes and adopt practices which will drive their performance in line with those changes? Those are the companies we generally see which are ahead of the curve, which are ahead of their competitors.
Did we miss Bhavna ji?
Yeah, I think we lost her. Bhavna, we can't hear you.
No, she got frozen.
Yeah, so internet problem, I think, at her end.
Wait, let me just message her. Let me just message her. No, it says she's not in the meeting right now.
I think she got dropped off.
Message is not able to go, yeah.
Yeah. So if Jwalanji or Nageshji would like to take it further.
Jwalant, shall I try to reach her?
Yeah, I think one should.
Yeah, I'll try to reach her.
Before.
Nageshji, would you like to continue the discussion?
No, I don't mind, but I think it will be unfair. She hasn't completed a part of it, Shabana. So give it a couple of minutes, please.
Okay, yeah. No, I was saying if you are familiar with the conversation, if you can start the conversation, and she will definitely will get the chance to speak.
Just give me a minute, please. Just let me try if I can reach her.
Yeah, she has come. She has come.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got you back.
Yes, talking about this. Can you see me and hear me okay?
Interesting, Bhavna. There were a couple of very interesting statements for you that Bhavna has chosen. Bhavna has left us. Right? So you were talking about Buddha's enlightenment, right? So all this like frozen, right? Then left us. Right.
No, I think that's a part of her, she's testing us, basically, change, how change destabilizes us.
And here
Vinay,
here
Bhavna,
again.
more importantly, Shabana was asking me to step into your shoes. I said that's impossible. How do I do that?
Sorry.
So go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I am actually now logged in from 2 places.
Okay.
Bhavna ji, I think you need to mute
Yeah.
one.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
mute one.
perfect.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, yes. My shoes are too small for Nageshji to even try. And yes, this was part of the deal. Things will not happen the way we want them to. and my purpose, which I was talking about, is to be here to share. So yes, I'm back, and I'll keep sharing irrespective of whatever happens. So yes, I was talking about purpose and how organizations, need to have a purpose beyond just wealth creation. In fact, I'd like to share the example of one of the organizations I was associated with. For them, sustainability was a purpose that they were after. And every business case had to undergo the test of sustainability. And if it was not something which was a sustainable idea or which could drive the planet's sustainability, they wouldn't do it. And the whole business premise was exactly to make the world or to be undertaking businesses which were sustainable. So it was not philanthropy, it was how they made money to make a more sustainable world. So the point is, whether it's businesses or as individuals, so whether it's businesses or it's individuals, we definitely need to have a higher purpose than just wealth creation, right? So accepting change, continuing to drive towards our purpose, those two are definitely key areas when we talk about organizations being able to get themselves to be more competitive than most of the other players in the industry. But then that's not enough. And I did hear Rajanji, for example, talking about people. And I think the whole piece around compassion towards your people is the other most important pillar when we talk about stellar performing organizations. When we say compassion, the way I understand it and the way I envision and practice it is to actually look at each human in its entirety. So for every team member, every employee, every colleague, senior, junior, whoever, it's about understanding where they come from. It's about understanding what is it that's driving them. What is it that brings them to work every day? And what is it that keeps going on in their lives? What are the challenges they are facing? What are their motivations? Bringing that whole perspective by putting yourself in the other person's shoes and enabling. I think every time we are dealing with individuals in that way, we actually help them to achieve what they are best suited for and what they can make happen, right? So whether we're talking about change, and I started with Buddha, and then I've kind of gone into purpose and compassion towards your people. And as I was thinking through this, I was actually thinking about, the eightfold path that Buddha talked about, right? And I'm sure all of you, learned as you are probably aware of it. He talks about right understanding, right views, right action, right speech, right mindfulness, so on and so forth. If we, for a minute, think about the whole concept that, Buddha started his journey towards enlightenment with, which was around suffering. When we read about it in terms of how he experienced it, he saw an old man, a sick man, a dying person, and he looked at suffering as something which is inevitable, right? It will happen and there will be causes for it. So, in fact, even if we don't take it to those extreme physical suffering, which of course are part of us, even if I look at it in the same business context, because that's where I come from, when we're talking about suffering, I mean, how often each one of us, or at least I is stressed about, okay, results didn't happen the way I wanted to. So yes, there is suffering. I undergo tremendous angst because it didn't happen the way I wanted. Causes could be a ton of them, could be competition, could be regulation, customer, whatever other causes, a failed product, etc. Anything, right? But then the way Buddha thought about it was like, yes, this is a part of life, and we have to equip ourselves to be able to deal with it, right? And that's where he talks about the eightfold path, and I was kind of sharing with you, what all he talked about in that. To me, it is less, and here's where I come back to the point I was saying earlier. It is less about everything that Buddha said. It is more about what I can apply, what resonates with me, and what I think, even after all these centuries, is still something that is important for us. So, for instance, he talks about right action, right? And a few minutes back, I was talking about organizations which engage in business with a purpose, right? So whatever they are driving towards is with a purpose, right? We talk about right understanding. So yes, there is suffering. It will happen. Results will go bad. All of that is going to be part of life. There is no point in valuing in it when it happens. There is no point in resisting it, right? Because it will happen. And we can keep saying that, hey, my plans were really well laid out and I want to still pursue them. But what will happen in the process is you're the one who's undergoing a lot of angst. You're the one who's probably going to even further suffer because you refuse to accept that something has changed and that given the changed circumstances, we need to act differently, right? He also talks about, for instance, right speech, right? And I think all of us are familiar. Every time there's groups of people, there is bound to be gossip, rumors. The larger organization, the larger the organization, the higher the chances of a lot of negativity flowing across as people are, trying to pull each other down, trying to make up stories, sometimes believing in things, sometimes just perpetuating certain myths about, let's say, a leader or a particular team member. All of that, when I understand Buddha talking about right speech, to me is to say, hey, all of this is impacting and it is further accentuating our suffering. So why not deal with this more focused on positivity, right? Why are we letting people get bogged down? It's the same thing as when we talk about right action, like I said earlier, from a purpose perspective. Think about when we, and let's take action in the literal sense from a business perspective, but when we talk about competition to our business, it's like we say, it's a dog eat dog world. And think about a pricing tactic, right? So I decide I want more market share, I want a higher sales revenue, and I start undercutting. I start getting into a price war, right? Because that's what I have done. My actions have led to somebody else reacting in a certain way. Because, one of the other things Buddha said, nothing is lost in the universe. It comes back to you with probably a lot of interest. So the principle has a lot of interest. So you take action on pricing, and there it goes. And there is a full-fledged war which helps nobody, right? All you're doing is eroding bottom lines. There is nothing that comes out of it. So the point being, rather than trying to just control others or others' actions, how about we focus on ourselves, right? And to me, irrespective of whether it's action, speech, understanding, whichever way you look at it, to me it comes with an awareness, right? And yes, there's a piece around mindfulness, right? Mindfulness that Buddha talks about. We need to be aware of ourselves, whether it's our body, whether it's our mind, and hence our thoughts, our feelings, and hence our reactions, our emotions. To me, that learning is the most important single piece I have taken away, which is about saying if we as individuals in our corporate or personal lives are aware of each of these aspects of our being, we are in a position to be able to manage them. Because, like they say, right? I mean, awareness is half the battle won. It's like if I have to fight in the market, I need to have the data about what's going on over there. Otherwise, I don't even know I'm fighting over there, right? I mean, from a competitiveness perspective. So that's the same thing which applies to us as individuals, right? We need to be aware of each of these aspects of our being. And the more we are aware, the higher the chances we are able to govern our reactions. Because it's important that rather than focusing on who's doing what and what is happening where and how can I control that, we focus on ourselves and what we can make happen. How exactly can we be a better version of ourselves? And in a big way, as if as individuals we start focusing on ourselves and we start working on how we become a better version of ourselves, organizations, so if a bunch of us make up an organization, because organizations at the end of the day are nothing but groups of people, if we are focusing on each of us and we are trying to exceed ourselves, then there's no way the organizations that we are part of and organizations which are made up of such individuals, will they not be able to exceed their performance, right? So the whole idea being that it is always us and ourselves that we can control. And if it is that, then it is us, ourselves that we need to better. And as we better us and ourselves, we take the organizations to the next level. Now, most organizations, it's great to have individuals who can make it happen that ways. Because, you know, one thing I've always believed, and I've written a lot on that, is that, you know, potential in people always exists. It's the best of managers and organizations that help unearth it. And the idea is, if we can unearth that potential that lies within people, if we can make people a better version of ourselves, it is what we control and it is what we can work on, which will make organizations a better version of themselves, right? And there's no way that organizations which, irrespective of everything that's going, so the idea is not about, hey, let's not focus on what's happening outside. Obviously we are part of an environment, we're part of a market and industry, we need to know. But the point is, we do not need to always try and govern what the others are doing. We need to try and push the limits of us ourselves, because individuals have that potential. It's about becoming aware of it and then taking it to the next level. But that's how organizations would be. So I'm going to pause here, because those were a few thoughts that I wanted to share. And happy to hear any reflections or comments that everybody.
Bhavna ji, I must say, coming from corporate sales and marketing background, everything resonated with me. So I have one question before anybody wants to ask in the participant. So initially we talked about sustainability as one of the purpose, where we can, which can lead organizations.
Your voice is slightly low, Monica. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe you have to be a bit
Just
louder
let
or
me
come
enhance
closer.
the volume. So I was asking Bhavna ji that sustainability, as you said, is one of the purpose where organizations drive change to their next level, and then leads to the wealth creation. So don't you think that wealth creation should be the outcome and should be the last thing that one organization should look forward to? If purpose is, or the as a core strategy, purpose is there, then everything will lead to the wealth creation.
Yes. So yeah, I guess I didn't say it well enough, but yes, that's precisely the thought, that we need to work towards our purpose. And while I said that I'm going to resist talking about the last 1 year and what it has done to several of our businesses, the point is that the organizations that endure over decades, and in fact, the example I took about that organization that focuses on sustainability, multi-billion euro organization, and it's been around for more than a century, right? So when you drive towards purpose and you generate wealth based on that, like you rightly said, yes, it's an output, but those organizations are the ones that endure, and they are also the ones that endear themselves to employees, because people know why they are there other than just making money. And there is a human element which always wants to support and kind of make others also be partaking in their wealth, right? And wealth can be in different forms. It's almost like one of the earlier sessions I had done on how can we be happy, and one of those I talked about 3 S's there, and Jalanji probably remembers it from then. But there's seva, there's sadhana, and there's satsang. And seva is where we are talking about, how can you support the fellow humans or humanity at large, or in this case, since we're talking sustainability, the planet directly and the living beings indirectly. So yes, absolutely agree with you on that, Monica.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the participants for Bhavna ji?
Or any thoughts?
Any thoughts, any reflections?
I have a question to Bhavna. Am I permitted to ask?
I don't think so, but yeah, now that you've already put put my foot in my mouth, you should.
No, I'll tell you. I mean, just to bring it alive, all the elements that you touched upon are very real, obviously. But typically, what happens? I mean, as a person who is, let's say, bogged down with his daily responsibilities in a typical organization, his ability to get out of the momentary pressure and to think on a larger scale is always a challenge. Is there a practical way for people to really get into that mindset which will enable him or her to handle the situation? I mean, is my question clear?
Right. So you're saying, how does one pick themselves out from
Yes.
what tends to consume them
Yes.
on a daily basis? And I would actually say I'm almost imagining myself in that, right?
Yeah.
And I think several of us at maybe several years ago phases in life, and I'm seeing others around me.
True.
Being in that position where you're so consumed that nothing else matters. And the lesser it matters, the lesser you want to even spend time thinking about it, right? To me, one of the things I experienced was, and this is where I was talking about, when we talk about teachers or guides or people who volunteer, and I gave my father's example. He would always, want to share what he thought could help me. But there's always somebody who wants to do that, right? The problem, and I'm actually thinking about somebody whom I'm trying to help in that way right now, and I'm facing a wall, right? Because this individual is like, no, you don't understand what kind of a job I have. And I'm like, no, I had that kind of a job, so I know what you're talking about. And the issue that pains me is that this particular individual is suffering physically, suffering mentally, suffering emotionally, but refusing to come out of that or try and make a change. And to me, Nagesh, the point is, I don't think that you typically can help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves, right? If I had the opportunity, and I'm talking now on my personal example, there was a time I was between jobs, and as I sat between jobs, I actually signed up for what was called the happiness program. Okay, and you probably heard about it, and just out of curiosity, right? And that's where began my journey to say, I'm probably fine where I am, because it seems I'm fine, irrespective of how much suffering I may be going through or stress I may be going through. But yes, being better version of myself will not happen unless there's an inflection point. And to me, in very simple words, to your question, yes, unless I have the ability to recognize that, yes, I need to do something about it, nobody can help. it's not something which will descend on us, irrespective of how much people care for us. And I see that, it's a lot of learning, a lot of sharing, a lot of guidance just gets wasted on people, because they will listen to you, first of all, whether they listen or not. They will listen to you and it will just like bounce back, and it's almost like, it's like we call it the chikna ghada, right? Everything just flow away. So yeah, I think that's a first for me to begin with. I do not know if you agree with that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I take it as an input. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Bhavna
So-
ji, see, I think this is very interesting topic, because I also feel that, see, the kind of evolution levels at which you are operating, it's a holistic thing. See, once you start advising somebody, unless he is in that right state of mind from all perspectives.
Right.
See, for example, in small companies, you are talking about purpose and right things, like Buddha's principles of doing everything right. But I can tell you that, see, it's like जो वो सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन वाला एक पिरामिड होता है, उसमें आप सबसे पहले
मैस्लो का
तो आप अभी यूरोपियन एक मल्टी बिलियन डॉलर कंपनी के पर्सपेक्टिव से बोल रहे हैं, बट इफ यू लुक एट स्मॉल कंपनीज, see, they are doing all of this as a fad, like corporate social responsibility. It is just to show. I do not think that a lot of these companies, because they are struggling to survive, and they have not reached to that level of maturity and evolution where they think and align everything that they are doing to a purpose. Or even individuals, when you talk about, like Nagesh ji was telling about this, like आप भी बता रही हैं कि मैं किसी को हेल्प करना चाह रही हूँ लेकिन वो नहीं हो पा रहा है, बिकॉज उसका पर्सपेक्टिव, आप अभी किसी को कहेंगे नीम का, सुबह सुबह नीम के पत्ते खा लिया करिए, आप उसका रात को वो जब तक he is having a late night and he is having alcohol, he is having late night parties, and सुबह आप ना उसको, मतलब जब तक पूरा holistic नहीं होगा उसका पूरा का पूरा. So I think it is true with individuals, organizations, and anything which you, so it is not like in isolation you suddenly cannot change a person or a perspective of any individual. It takes a, आपका इतना personal experiences हैं.
Right.
Like I now, at my age, I start thinking that I'm doing exactly the things that I was hating when I was a child. My grandfather was doing things and I would question him and I would say I will never do. And now I am again, because that has retained in my mind.
Bilkul.
And now at that maturity level, all of those things make sense to me.
Absolutely. Bilkul.
I think that is the reason.
Yes. Yeah.
आप जिस level पे हैं, आपका, I mean, इतना experiences, इतनी education, इतना self introspection के बाद आप इस level पे पहुंची हैं जहाँ पे आप you now can make a difference.
True, absolutely. And
I think I don't know what is the solution to this. So as leaders in the companies, suppose we have to converge people and we have to give them a realistic, authentic message that we genuinely want to have a purpose, whatever we do, and have the right things, like aap bata rahi hain, you improve yourself, make all of us a better version. I cannot do it even with my family. My wife, she will want to
वो
talk.
अलग case है, उसको हम अलग रखेंगे.
But what I'm saying is, आपको लग रहा है कि यार, let us just feel blessed, because I am at that level of evolution where I feel count your blessings, be positive, not तुलना नहीं करिए, किसी को देखिए नहीं. आपका वाइफ इज वो सोच रही है पागल साला जवानी में बुढ़ा हो गया.
Bhavna ji, can we get back to Rajan ji's question a little later, after maybe if we have time, or through chat?
Yes, sure.
We have lined up other sessions also.
I'll keep that with me. Sure.
So Rajan ji, is it okay if we?
Yeah. So Monica, your voice is not very clear, by the way. But I got. I just wanted to give my perspective so that I think we are looking for some enlightenment in what changes we need to do. So I was trying to explain my sort of.
So I think we'll get back to you on this.
But आपकी आवाज में there is a serious issue, Monica. We cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me. Maybe I'll try speaking a little louder.
Maybe आप वो लगा लीजिए अपना. if you have that.
I'll do that.
Because
I'll do that.
it is very, very different. Yeah.
I'll
Please
do
continue,
that.
Bhavin.
So, our next lineup is from another eminent speaker, Nagesh ji. I invite Nagesh ji now to be on this platform and share your wonderful session to us.
Thank you, Monica. Just a quick, give me 2 minutes. Allow me to introduce myself about my background, because Monica did introduce me about the topic per se, not my background. Some of you may be curious about it. Essentially, I come from a private practice and a corporate world. I mean, I used to be in my own practice and management consultancy years ago with my father before I stepped down to the corporate world. And I have traversed pharma industries and advertising and marketing. And I've had roles in India, Asia Pacific, Africa, etc. And essentially, I retired about 4 years ago after heading the company in advertising and marketing. That's the brief background about myself. Having said that, I mean, I'm not coming here as a speaker, honestly. I'm coming here as a participant along with you people. At the end of the day, I think I'll be learning more from you rather than the other way around. But here is a bit about whatever I have gleaned from my experiences, to be honest. Okay. Now, Bhavna talked about the essence of the topic today is the handling competition the Buddha way. Okay. Essentially, I mean, unless somebody has read about Buddha and all, it's not possible to understand the nuance of it. The nuance of it is that all of us are individually driven, but having been individually driven, you also need to be cognizant of the impact of your actions on the society or on the people or on your team, etc. That's the essence. And why did I talk about saying that it is a VUCA world? When you say VUCA world, it's about volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity, and complexity, essentially. It was a VUCA world thousands of years ago when Buddha was around. It was so 500 years ago. It was so 100 years ago. It was there when I joined the corporate world 40 years ago. It is there today as well, as much as in the COVID corona situation that we are saying. So essentially, we are all expected to deliver at each of the stages. There is never a time when there is going to be this VUCA is not going to be present. It's always there. So the pressure on performance is always there. So when we talk about, so I don't want to elaborate too much on that, but let me get to the essential elements of success in whatever we do, whether we are in the corporate world, whether we are running our business or what have you. I would like to, since the time is short, I would like to encapsulate it into some identifiable terms. I work to the principle of 7 elements, which I call as I as in India I, and shades. Let me elaborate what it is and how it is relevant for our success metrics. What I mean is all of us are intelligent. All of us are intelligent. We are born intelligent, or we educate ourselves to get to an intelligent quotient. Okay. And intelligence also, I would like to incorporate the wisdom aspect also. That's what makes all of us intelligent. Having said that, one of the key elements obviously goes without saying is the intelligence and how we are able to use it. Experiential journey over the years gives you the wisdom to use your education. That's how it is. So when whatever business we are in, whether Rajan, like you said, you are in geo mapping position, or Mr. Chopra, who is talking about IT services abroad. So obviously he has built a knowledge base, and the knowledge base which he has done over the last 30 years has given him the wisdom as to how to tackle, let's say, he is exporting his software. So he must have gained the wisdom to fill up the request for proposals in a way which will find it acceptable abroad. Right, Vijayji, that's what you must be doing. So the point is, all of us need to use our intelligence in a topical way in a typical situation. So there is no fixed approach. It has to be horses for courses. So that element is necessary for success in business or in employment or to prove ourselves. That is number one. That's what I call as the intelligent quotient. Okay. The next one I talk about is, we all, during our younger days, we all grow up to think that whatever we do or whatever we achieve is as a result of our own efforts. Actually, nothing can be farther than truth from that. The fact is, we are all social animals. We live in a surround of family, of friends, of people who are lesser able than us, people who are more able than us.
नहीं हो नहीं रहा है.
Hello, can somebody mute it, please? There's some other voice coming in. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point that I'm saying is, I mean, we live in a social atmosphere, right? So the thing is, when we grow, I mean, it is not that we are grown entirely due to our own efforts. I mean, we have had inputs from our parents, from our siblings, from our friends, from our students, what have you, anybody. I mean, we all are social creatures. We need to know how to network. We need to know how to tap into their potential. We need to be humble enough to say that I don't know a particular aspect of the job or my responsibility, which I can learn from somebody else. For example, I mean, I have my friends in Jwalant and Bhavana. Suppose if I'm not aware of something, both of them are experienced substantial in the corporate world. If I don't know something, I don't have an ego in asking them as to how to handle it, to be honest. I mean, that's what I mean by social networking, social, what does it say? I mean, social habits, or, you know, how you interact with people. So in a typical corporate world also, I mean, you are not working in a silo, you're working as a part of the team. The team spirit should be there. The team spirit, essentially what it says, one for all for one. So the essence should be that if I'm working in a team of, let's say, 4 people, I, as a person, has to take care of the interest of all the other 3 people. Similarly, each of the other 3 people have to take care of the interests of the other people. That's how the team works. Because if everybody is going to be, you know, self-fulfilling or, you know, chasing their own dreams without taking care of other interests, will not be able to succeed typically. That's the second aspect, that is social quotient. The third one is the happiness quotient, you know, what we talked about a few minutes ago. To be honest, I don't know how to define happiness, to be honest. And I don't think there is a definition of happiness. You know, even if you look at the Buddha way, which Bhavana was referring to, Buddha believes that suffering is inevitable, right? He has never talked about happiness. He talks about suffering being inevitable. All of us have to endure it. It is a matter of karma, and we need to know how to get out of it. In other words, if you look at suffering, if you were to translate it to the ground reality of whatever situation all of us are in, whether in business or employment, never chase happiness. Happiness is a byproduct of how you handle situations on a day-to-day basis. There is no definition for happiness. If you look at the dictionary also, it will say happiness means not sad. It doesn't say happiness means, you know, happiness is a state of mind. So essentially, if you are in a problem, sort it out yourself, accept it as something divine which is happening to you, see how you can get out of it. The moment you get out of it, you are going to feel happy about it. To put it in a simple, let's say, layman's term also, various things can make us happy, right? One of the key things which gives you the maximum happiness is when you try to help others rather than yourself. It is all experientially proven. I'm also talking out of my own experience. It's not that I'm just read something in the books or something and trying to say that here. Not at all. My best level of experience has been when I don't take care of my own interest. That's when I've been happy, to be honest. Other times I've been happy is when let's say I get promoted or I've been able to do a job diligently, etc. You know, these are the things which keep me happy. Let me give you an illustration. I'm very meticulous by nature. Okay. My first corporate job was in a company called Boots Pharmaceuticals. Most of you must have heard about it. It's a multinational company, pharma company. And since I was meticulous, I used to keep the records, or let's say the workings of our profit and loss account, etc., methodically, file it regularly, etc. In those days, computers were not there. Okay. So the retrieval system was so efficiently kept that even after I left the company after 6 years, my boss used to call me up and say that nobody has been as meticulous as you are. Small thing at one level, but that has given me the maximum happiness. In other words, do your best in your job, whatever you do. That's going to keep you happy. No, nothing else. Nothing else is going to keep you happy. That's what I said. That's the third one, a part of I shades. H is happiness quotient. The next one is what I would call as, let's say, our ability to handle difficult situations or challenges. Let's talk about adversity. I mean adversity quotient here. To bring it alive, last year, I mean, all of us suffered from COVID, right? In one form or the other. When I say suffered, we were all impacted. Whether our relatives or friends were got the disease, some of them passed away, we are not able to go out, some of us lost our jobs, etc. It's our ability to see how we handle the situation. There are two types of companies which all of you must have heard about during the COVID situation. One set which believed that they should help their employees in some form. There was another set of companies which believed that if the company has to survive, they have to sack the people. At the end of the COVID, in the last 1 year, you come to your own analysis as to who succeeded and who didn't succeed. The people, the company who took care of their employees' interest and did not put them on the streets are the ones who are succeeding today, not the other companies. Do an analysis. Each of you will have your own data points to validate what I'm saying. So how you handle adversities is important for you to succeed. For example, let's say, I will give you another example. I went on an Everest Base Camp trek 2 years ago. Okay, we were a group of about 30 people. Out of that, 3 of us were left behind for whatever reason, because of helicopters not taking off or whatever. It was a long trek to Himalayas via Nepal. They went ahead. So at that time, the 3 of us came later and we continued the trek nevertheless. And most of you, if you have experience going on trek in high altitudes like Everest, etc., it's not easy. It's extremely complicated. It's extremely physically challenging. It could be dangerous as well. But we decided that no matter what, we will do it because there are 3 of us in any case. And let them go ahead, the rest of the people. They went ahead. One of the persons in our group also used to keep cribbing. Just look at the attitude of the people in 27. They didn't even wait for us. I said, what's the point in thinking about it? Perhaps if we are in a situation, we would have reacted differently, or we would have reacted similarly, or they didn't have a means of communicating with us. So why not be happy at the moment? Forget what happened or what the other 27 people did. At least we are here, we are able to complete the trek, right? So move on. So your attitude in adversity, whether you're willing to take on the challenge and still complete the task, whether you stop cribbing about other people who are not supportive, it could be anything, any element in whatever field you are in. So ability to handle adversities is very, very important element in succeeding in the whatever we do. The next one is an obvious one. I would not delve too much into it. We have all kinds of people. The youngsters are all digitally savvy. The people who are 5, 10 years, 11 years, or 20 years, they are all digitally savvy. But the older generation who were, about, let's say, in their 50s or 60s, who continue to do the job, they have to be aware of the digital world, how everything can be done on the internet, how you can do everything digitally. Let me tell you, I'm not a real tech savvy person. In fact, I call myself a tech dinosaur. But since retiring, when I was at a top position heading the company, I had all the secretarial support, administrative support, everything. I didn't do anything. Okay, but after retiring, I had to come to grips with the reality that I got to do everything, whether it's my banking, whether it's my insurance or what have you. So I got on, took the trouble to learn everything. And today, believe me, I can do everything with this cell phone, everything. So we need to take the trouble to study and be, let's say, updated on every development, because technology is not going to go away anywhere, right? So we need to do that. So that digital quotient is also necessary for the people. Whether it is youngsters or old people or whatever, we are in a digital world, we need to know about it. The next one is the emotional quotient. Emotional quotient is a subset of the social quotient that I talked about earlier. Essentially, what does emotional quotient mean? Emotional quotient means to look at facts as they are, not get emotionally involved, take a hard-nosed view as to what is right for the particular job or the organization, and do it without negatively impacting other people. Listen to other people's travails, try to help them, see whether they can participate in everything, carry them along with you. That's what emotional quotient is about. Emotional quotient, emphasis on taking care, looking at other people's issues, see whether you can help them, and see how you can take them along with you in your success journey. That's essentially the emotional quotient. The last one is, of course, is the spiritual quotient, spirituality quotient. I mean, today's topic, when we talk about the competitive way, handling it the Buddha way, we are talking about spiritualism. What is spiritualism? Spiritualism is not about religion per se. Spirituality, essentially, you recognize that you are a small microcosm of what is called as a universe or a cosmos. That we are not alone in this world. Whatever we do will impact everything else in the cosmos. The day you realize that, you become spiritual, that there is a higher order which is directing everything. We always used to believe that we are in control of everything. Not at all. We only put in our efforts, but whether you will succeed or not succeed is not really in our hands. It is because of various circumstances, some divine forces coming in, some divine forces ensuring that you don't succeed. That could be related back to the karma, etc. So there are lots of aspects to it. Spirituality to me is recognizing that there is a cosmos, something universal, something primary, which is guiding everything. Science is trying to rationalize spirituality if you look at it differently. So if you have a spiritual quotient, if we develop it, we'll be able to handle the stresses of the world better. We'll be able to handle the VUCA world better and be a success in our workplace. This is about it. I'm willing to take questions now, but I wanted to be as brief as possible. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Can you just summarize that, the points? What did you call that?
Okay, I'll tell you how I developed it. I mean, I talk to people regularly. Okay, I talk to people regularly, and I use it as a relevant experiential journey which I'm sharing with you. It's called I shades, 7 Qs. Seven Qs.
Yeah.
Okay, as in Q letter, 7 Qs. I call it I shades. I stands for intelligence. S stands for social quotient. H stands for happiness quotient. A stands for adversity quotient. D stands for digital quotient. E stands for emotional quotient. And S stands for spirituality quotient. And eye shades, essentially, when you wear the shades, at one level, it helps you keep the harsh challenges outside. It doesn't allow you to impact it. At the same time, it also makes you see things better. That's why I coined it that way. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nagesh ji, for such an enlightening session. You know what I liked about the terminology that you used as technology dinosaur. That was an invented one, or what?
No. I use that word because I coined that word. But the fact is, it is an honest statement. There is more to learn, as far as I'm concerned, more to learn about technology than what I know. But I try to keep myself abreast.
That's a 360 holistic approach, I think, when we talked about taking care of the entire question, happiness question, spiritual question, intelligence, adversity. I'm sure there's a lot of learning to go ahead. To feel that fulfillment inside. There's a lot of work to do now, I feel, Nagesh ji.
True.
Any further questions? Any questions from the participants? Or we move to our next speaker, Jwalant ji. Jwalant ji, can you take up the session now?
Okay. All right. When there are no questions, this is a very risky kind of thing. Either you have a very
Nagesh ji was very prescriptive.
okay.
So all of that was very bulleted. So I think it is.
Rajan ji, I'll just add to that. The idea was to be that I'll tell you what, the problem with the world. The problem with the world is not dearth of knowledge. All of us are knowledgeable. There is dearth of execution. That's where the problem is. That's why it was a little prescriptive, but I hope it helped you.
No, fantastic.
It really
wonderful.
Helped.
That was
It really
wonderful.
helped. We agree with all what you say, and I'm happy to say that we are all executing it and doing it in our company. Whether it is spiritual, whether it's compassion, what Bhavnaji said, and what you said about adversity. We didn't fire anybody in our company during the pandemic, and I'm happy to say that productivity of our people has increased, has enhanced. Yeah.
Very nice, Vijay ji. That's the right thing to do. Thank you.
It was really great.
Okay. See, uh, Nageshji said he's a technology dinosaur, and I'm something more than that. Now, what is more than that, I don't know, because this PPT on my laptop is not opening. So you can imagine what is it up to. Okay. Okay. Let us see if it opens now. Okay. Why is it behaving in
If
such a...
you can open the PowerPoint first and then open this, it
Okay.
might work, Julanji.
Okay.
So if you have that Microsoft presentation, आप जाइए फिर file open करिए.
Uh,
Maybe it can work like.
okay. Let me see. It was working. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I think it is. Okay, no, no. Sorry about it, but let me just. Yeah, it's now. Yeah. Good tip.
All of us struggle through similar challenges at some
Uh,
point or the other, Julanji.
all right. Okay. So
We can see your screen, Jalant.
great. Sounds good. So the challenge with the last speaker is that everything is already spoken. So uh, I have nothing much to speak, but still I'll try. And this presentation is all about the Buddha way. And Bhavna has already spoken so beautifully. So I'll just try to summarize things if possible. Yeah. So a businessman life is like a storage battery, in a car, and because it is constantly on and it is constantly discharging, and it is much needed that it to run on a for a long haul. It needs to be recharged very, very frequently, and this challenge also lies with the business leaderships only. So one has to figure out how to do that, and a session like this is to recharge the batteries and recharge the heart, right? So as we all know that we need confidence, we need encouragement, we need support, we need push, but these are all external things. However, to run a successful business, it is much needed is confidence and enthusiasm, which is a very inner quality. So for a successful businessman and to manage the competition effectively, we all have to have the confidence and enthusiasm as an inner quality. So interestingly, that flower is tougher than a rock, and our objective to live has to be that we need to be like a flower, not like a rock. So we need to be tough, tougher than the rock, to survive the tough times. So we have to survive like a flower, which again has a inner beauty and inner quality. And challenges are accepted. You don't face the challenges. So you accept the challenges with enough courage, and that courage comes from within. So today, I mean, we all have spoken about this acceptance. We have also spoken about challenges. We have also spoken about adversities. We have also spoken about some tough times and stuff, right? So, so if you must have seen this picture several times, and when Krishna blew his conch, it was not to announce the war, but it was to announce the acceptance of the challenge that was posed. So the challenge may bring whatever that is accepted. The challenge may unfold whatever that is also accepted, and the challenge may lead to anywhere. It is also accepted. So without any fear, the challenge has to be accepted. And Living actually means accepting the challenge every moment, because there is no moment without a challenge. So if you think that what is the biggest challenge to be living, that you get your next breath. So you are not sure whether you will get your next breath or not. So you are taking the risk, you are taking the challenge, and you are accepting the challenge. And if you are accepting the challenge with enough sufficient happiness and joy, that means you are responding to it and responding in a very nice manner. However, if you react to it, then you would obviously invite anger, frustration, some fear, some anxiety and stuff, right? So this is uh, the biggest challenge is that you get your breath every moment, and that's that you are living, and living itself is quite challenging. So competition in business is a real challenge. You can never think of a business without competition, and you need to know that that the Buddha way is all about people, and people meet the challenges and people accept the challenges. So, but the competition is all about the business is all about competition, and that's a real challenge. So some of the most competitive people ever humanity has ever known, I mean, could be like Nader Shah, and you will find similar leaders in business as well, right? So the most competitive person in the humanity would be like Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, Adolf Hitler. These are the most competitive people humanity has ever known. And at the same time, they have never been worshipped. And there has been the another set of very competitive people like Buddha, like Mahavira. They all existed in the same time frame, and their competition was at a different level. So if we consider the people on this side of the spectrum, we find that these are the people with very ordinary competitiveness. And all of them were ridden with emotional stress, with fear, with pain, with greed, with insecurity, with jealousy. I mean, you talk about Alexander the Great, you talk about Nader Shah, you talk about Adolf Hitler. Every single person had all these ordinary competitiveness issues, and they had to go through these. And how to identify the ordinary competitiveness is when your winning doesn't become a joy or happiness. It means that your ordinary competitiveness is not the way. You need to bring a new order. And the new order probably is how to be compassionate competitiveness, right? So what is compassionate competitiveness is that how you be more from your within, how you respond to things more from your within. So Bhavna has already touched all these points very nicely. It is all about self then other. It is about growing then decreasing. It is inside out then outside in. It is about opportunity then threat. It is about courage then fear. It is about service then ownership. It is about confidence then doubt. And it is about whole then half. So if we have these qualities in our decision making, in our corporate processes, and in our all approach towards people, I mean, I think we are compassionately competitive. So when compassion is what? Compassion is when passion is absolutely transformed when love and meditation. That is compassion. So, and how do you find this within yourself and within the your company or within your organization? It is the that positive feeling where you have enormous gratitude, where you have enormous thankfulness, and where you enormous connectivity within the people and the stakeholders. So when you find your nature, where you are continuously exploring, you are living, and you are celebrating. So that is what the Buddha is all about. So compassionate competitiveness is the Buddha's way of things to respond both in business and life. We all are Buddha, and so we get ready for the meditation. So my approach is only meditation. I speak less, and I believe in experience, right? So this is a video which you just watch quickly, and then we get down to our meditation, right? So here we go.
Namaskar.
Are you able to hear the sound?
Yes. Yes.
Today we are going to do the Tibetan humming meditation. This video is to explain you the instructions how to do it. Actually, the technique. This is a wonderful Tibetan monks early morning. And if the technique is followed,
Is it buffering like?
There is a
Yes,
lag,
it's not
Jwalan.
continuous. It's not, voice is not continuous.
Yes.
Lag हो रहा है.
Yes, yes. I'll play it from the, not from there, but
Namaskar. Today we are going to do the Tibetan humming meditation. This video is to explain you the instructions how to do it. Actually, the technique. This is a wonderful meditation which is done by Tibetan monks early morning. And if the technique is followed rightly, the results are profound. So please understand and watch this video carefully. During the meditation, you have to keep the eyes closed. You have to sit comfortably either on the floor or on a chair, preferably without arms. Your legs rested on the floor comfortably. If you are sitting on the floor, then sit in Sukhasana, folded your legs. As the name suggests, Tibetan humming meditation is all about humming. It is also a meditation with a strong visualization. So we will actually evoke the sound of humming which comes from our navel center, and we will also use our power of visualization. So first and foremost, let us understand how to do this. Sit relaxed, no tension of any kind, anywhere in the body. You don't have to become too serious about it. Body loose, tongue touching the upper jaw, like this. Lips closed, eyes closed. And you have to create a subtle sound like a honeybee. I'll explain you how we do it. See, my tongue is touching the upper jaw like this. Lips closed, eyes closed. Fill your tummy with breath. Your belly will come out when you breathe in. And then start the hum. So as you do the humming, you also breathe out and your belly goes in. You don't have to stop, you have to fill yourself again with breath and then repeat the cycle. This is the first stage of the humming meditation. You will be supported here with the music, and when the music change, you will enter the stage 2 of the meditation, which is of using the power of visualization. When you do the humming, the energy arises in you. And now you have to visualize that this energy is flowing out of your hands and merging in the existence. So how you have to do this, just watch it carefully, the movements. Bring your palms on your navel center and now visualize that you are pouring this energy in your palms. And now very gently and slowly, you are spreading your palms, forming a semicircle, and you are visualizing that the energy is flowing from your hands into the existence. The movement has to be very slow and complete this semicircle. Bring your hands by side of your body and then gently bring them back onto your navel center without much effort, slowly and gently. Again, visualize that you are pouring the energy in your palms and then spreading slowly again into the universe, in the whole existence. Your energy is now getting connected to the existential energy. The visualization at this stage has to be fun. Right. Now that you have spread the energy into the existence, you have to bring back the energy again to yourself. And now you have to collect the existence energy back. What you have to do is turn your palms down and keep them on your hip center. Make a reverse move. Take your hands little backward and then bring them forward as if you are collecting the existence energy back. You're collecting the existence energy back in yourself. The movement has to be very slow and gentle, elegant. This is the way that you connect with the whole existence. So you have evoked the energy, then you have spread the energy, then you have collected the energy. Right? Now, after you have collected the energy, that is your stage 2 is. Both these stages of stage 2 will be supported with different music, and I'll be guiding. Now, third stage is the silence. That is the real meditation. And that is the time for you to enter in the total silence. No movement whatsoever. It will be good if you lie down on the floor, and if not possible, just keep sitting in a relaxed position on the chair. Once the meditation is over, you will hear the sound of 3 bells. But don't open your eyes till I tell you. So let's commit ourselves to do this meditation, which is so thank.
Ready?
One question, Jalanji.
Yes.
So first is this.
Yes.
So just the hand movements, I got confused. So
I'll
for
tell you once again. I'll tell you once again. Stage 2 has two parts. One part is that you have to spread the energy into the existence. The visualization has to be that your energy is going and merging with the existence. That is the way you are connecting with the existence. And in the 2B, you are collecting the same energy back in yourself. And you have to keep the hands on your navel center because that is the place you are connected with your mother in her home, right? So that is the place of the entire, I mean, you can say it's an atomic power plant, right? So that is what you have to do it. And Rajan, you were asking Bhavna that how do we know that the things are happening, or how do we understand the changes occurring or something like that. So am I correct that this was the question uh, that you had in mind?
Yeah. So I think
Right. So the solution is only meditation, because once you go in, you find a new kind of consciousness arising in you, and the consciousness is ki kachra hatne lagta hai and the real thing starts emerging, right? That is lot of love, lot of joy, lot of happiness, and that brings the qualitative change, and that brings the qualitative difference. And you also understand what is not said. So a lot of things you gather, uh, which the universe is trying to talk to you or to let you know. So let's try to do this meditation. I'm sure you guys will find a lot of relaxation. And Buddha is all about meditation.
एक सवाल था ज्वलंत आपसे.
Sir.
ये जो हमिंग का जो आपने बताया, इज इट सिमिलर टू दैट ब्रह्मन इन योगा?
सर भ्रामरी जो है वो,
हाँ.
this is more or less the same thing. It has been used in different methods differently, right? In
Okay.
India, they do the same thing in a different manner. The
Okay.
difference here is that they touch the tongue on their upper jaw.
Yeah.
When they touch the tongue on the upper jaw, it sends vibration to your mind,
Okay.
right? And then that vibration helps you to go and understand the pauses between the two thoughts.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So that's how it becomes easier for mind to lose grip on yourself,
Okay.
because all are products of our mind only. The,
True.
the moment we are able to get ourselves free from the thoughts, you will find that the body becomes very lighter, and you get that feeling of joy and happiness. So, and between the two thoughts, there is always a gap of silence. So, this Brahmari, or say humming, when you do by touching the upper jaw, it helps you also improve your insomnia in a very major way.
Okay.
And
Got it.
we have handled very acute insomnia cases, and including the sleep apnea cases as well.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
let's try to do it.
Okay.
So I hope the technique is clear to everyone. Any
Yeah.
questions? Okay. All right. So great. All you have to do is just keep your respects aside, become loose, keep your bodies loose, and close your eyes and keep your videos on and mic muted, right? And oops. All stages are supported by music, and I'll be guiding you. So just keep Your eyes closed, lips closed, tongue touching the upper jaw very gently. No tension anywhere in your body. Start the humming loud enough that it fills your room so that it showers on you also. Just like a honeybee, the humming has to be similar to the sound of a honey, loud enough that it is filled with going to stop and go on humming.
Speak louder, please.
Breathe in through humming. Breathe very relaxed. Now, and enter in the stage 2. Bring your palms on your navel center. Visualize that you are pouring all the energy in your palm. Visualize that energy moving into your chest. Now enter into 2B. Bring your palms on your navel center, palms facing downwards. Make a backward and collect the existence energy. Now enter into silence. Just freeze yourself, no movements. Be a witness. Let the thoughts come and go, just like clouds in the sky or traffic on the road, not touching you. Become aware to all your feelings, sensations in the body. Just be a witness, pure witness. Keep your eyes closed. Take a few deep breaths and very gently return. Rub your palms and keep it on your eyes before coming back. Over to you, Monica.
Jwalan, that was refreshing.
That's very good, sir. Thank you. That was the
Thank you
purpose.
so much, Jolanji.
Yeah.
Very calming, very soothing. It just took us to another dimension, I guess.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
I
you, sir.
forgot about the palms. I was so absorbing. I don't know where I was. Yeah.
जी, sir.
That's great.
मैं सर
I feel that
yes, go ahead, sir.
I'm feeling that I'm getting after a sleep,
Yes,
just like the effect that you have after the sleep, and the same effect I'm feeling right now.
right, right. It is very helpful for quality of sleep. Actually, if you
Thank you so
before
much.
going to bed, if you do humming for 10 minutes, that will help you get rid of some thoughts, and maybe you can sleep in. You can slip into sleep easily, right?
Yeah,
In
very
fact, I
energized.
yawned also in between. Initially, I yawned 2, 3 times. I thought that was really crazy, for me.
No, no, not at all. This body has its own requirement. I mean, if it is craving for sleep, I mean, this could be a good opportunity. Let it sleep and relax,
Mm.
and that will help
Is it
you.
suitable for is it suitable for children also?
Yes, very much, very much. And there will be, I mean, if you are able to get them do for at least 6 months, you will see a qualitative change in them, qualitative change in their behavior as well.
Oh,
And we have tried this with people having anger issues, people with anxiety levels, and it has helped a lot in those cases as well. और चोपड़ा साहब, मुझे तो ख्याल आया कि आप तो बाबूजी के
Yes.
साथ जुड़े हुए हैं.
Yeah, we are, yes. And we have meditation sessions every week in our office also.
Right, yes.
Yeah, the
और
center comes from
yes,
Heartfulness Institute,
yes.
your
और
company.
मुझे मुझे मौका मिला कि मैं बाबूजी के बिस्तर में सो सका.
Oh, really? That's wonderful.
शाहजहानपुर में.
You are really lucky.
मुझे उनका स्नेह काफी रहा बहुत जमाने तक, और जब मैंने इस रास्ते को पकड़ा तो he was the person who guided me,
Wow.
and that's how it is.
Have you been to Hyderabad?
जी, हैदराबाद भी गया हूँ, और
The
मैं
latest?
कारी साहब के पास चेन्नई भी गया था.
No, the latest
वो तो
Heartfulness Institute. Have you seen that?
no, I have not.
It's one of the largest in the country, in the
Yes,
world, in fact. They say
I've heard about it.
it's
I've heard.
so beautiful.
जी,
Modi ji was there
right,
recently.
right.
Yeah.
I've,
President was also there. They have been there.
no, I'll go there.
It is really great for India.
I'll certainly go there, and
Welcome. Yes.
and on happyo.in we run Daji's video, as well as some of the Babuji's videos and quotes too often.
Wonderful.
Unfortunately, Babuji's videos are not of high quality resolution and stuff,
Yeah.
so we often get that trouble. But we run his videos as well.
Great to see
thank you
you
so
after a
much,
long time.
Jolanji.
Ji,
Celebrity.
thank you so much, and thank you for making me part of your silence, and really enjoyed. Thank you so much.
Really.
Surviving like a flower, I picked it up the most, surviving like a flower.
Yeah.
That was the most beautiful thing.
Right.
Really.
So, if you are okay, Jwalanji, can we right now proceed with the panel discussion?
Yes,
Or you need a break, Jwalanji?
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine. Okay, so I'll invite all our eminent speakers, Bhavna ji, Nagesh ji, Jwalan ji, to kindly enter into this panel discussion mode. And Jwalan ji, I'll request you to kindly facilitate and lead the discussion for panel thing. Kindly moderate also.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Bhavna, this is a huge challenge. I mean, now, am I audible? I
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Bhavna, I mean, your talk was a very, very interesting, and I really enjoyed, and you cited some wonderful examples as well. But the biggest question that often comes to the minds of the people that because the Buddha way is not taught in any university or business school. Right? So whatever that is being taught is all about numbers and all about push, right? So they are so oriented in that this looks to be a very alien concept to them, while it is such a fundamental thing. So, as a business leader, I mean, how do you find that uh, if the if the India has to become a Jagat Guru and something like that, and to show path to the world of more of a love, care, and compassion, uh, then how do you think that things would change or will translate for good world over, actually?
Jwalanji, that is like we should ask Buddha that question, but I am
I'm asking that.
little Buddha. See, to me, I think change has to begin in a small way, and I am actually it's something I apply in my day-to-day life. There's no point in always having this okay, 5 years down the line I should have achieved this, or 10 years down the line I should have achieved this, or I have a bucket list. I think it's about the small changes that you make, right? And each one of us, if we attempt to share, and as I was talking earlier, uh, you can help those who want to help themselves, but the point is, each one of us can at least try to drive that change. And I think small encouragements or sharings. I mean, like, think about this forum today, right? We are here because we like to share, right? Everybody, not just those who are called the speakers or the panelists, but everybody. I mean, and everybody has something to contribute. The point is, if we are all with that ability and we have it in us to make that change or to share those changes, that's how change will happen over a period of time. Otherwise, I mean, from centuries ago, why would Buddha's learning still be relevant today if we had learnt it all and arrived at it all, right? So to me, each one of us needs to do our bit. In organizations, in businesses, it's generally easier if the tone is set at the top, right? It has to come down. You can't expect that, individuals somewhere down the hierarchy. So earlier on, Rajanji was talking about, small businesses. How can we, encourage people or drive people to make those changes? I think we need to be the change ourselves first, and then encourage it to others, not get deterred by the fact that not everybody gets it all the time. And that even if there's one life you influenced in a week, month, or year, and made a little change, it's worth it. So that's how I look at it, Ralanji.
Yes, that's right. And Nagesh sir, what's your take? You're muted, sir. You're muted.
Okay, got it. No, I mean, small changes, it's an everyday movement, really. I mean, you see, you cannot, I mean, Rome was not built in a day, right? Our Indian civilization was not been built in 1 year. It is 5,000 years, 10,000 years, however long it was. So I think it is a daily change that we have to get into ourselves, really. And to be honest, what happens is, if you, whatever I spoke today, or Bhavna spoke, or anybody else spoke in the group today, whether us or the audience, we are all built by our experiences, right? Our experiences teaches us everything. In fact, if we, let's say, ask our other people like Vijay ji or Rajat ji or anybody else to speak up extempore, believe me, they'll be able to give us some more inputs from their perspective, which is also going to add to our growth, really. So it's an ongoing process. I mean, it's not that, you start at, let's say, 1 month ago, and at the end of 1 month, you're all ready to face the world. Not at all. It's an ongoing thing. Education begins at birth and ends at death.
Right.
There is no stop in between. So the growth will never stop.
Absolutely.
We have never really arrived at any point in time.
Absolutely. And Chopra Sahib, I heard you saying that you do meditations in the office and encourage your team to do meditations. What is your experience on that?
Yeah, it is. In fact, this is voluntary, right from the day one. People who want to experience it, they come, and many of them joined in the beginning, but later on some of them left. I have never imposed it. It's just voluntary. Receptors from Sri Ramchandra Mission, they come to our office regularly. I mean, but out of, say, let's say about 60, 70 people, almost 50% still are doing it for the last 10 years.
Wonderful.
So yeah, and those people are very, they have been with us, they are not thought of leaving us. They are doing their best. In fact, they are some of our stars also. So I find this meditation is really helping them. And it's helping. General atmosphere in the company is good. So I find it very useful. Yeah. It's very useful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Rajan, what is your take on this, and how do you see things as, because you are a business leader and you have quite a large operations both here in Noida and Orissa, so and you have quite a large workforce. So whether you feel this need, or you have any initiative of this kind running in your company, or what is it? You're muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Joranji, I am not evolved enough to mature to comment on this meditation bit. See, we are this traditional. We have a lot of initiatives where, in terms of, I am personally very like naturopathy and all these. I'm an Indian, like our chantings and all of that. So I'm slightly not. I mean, it is too early for me to comment on meditation, because I have personally not been able to maybe come at a space where I start feeling the real benefits. I would think I'm not experienced enough, but I definitely, we have a program where there are some gurus and there is some chanting sessions and some natural, I mean, we do a lot of these yoga, naturopathy, and those traditional chanting sessions in our company. As part of our normal, we have a very involved person. So I think our workforce also is not at that level where these things, I think also you have to commit yourself. And I would think that it would take a sort of, even personally, like I said, I sort of forcefully think that this is helping. It is not a natural feeling as yet. I just do not feel कि यार ये क्या चीज हो रही है, कैसे हो रही है. Maybe I have to attend some live sessions. So I mean, that is my story, and I am very frank and honest about it. I just, this meditation thing, even like, I should not be judgmental, like Buddhism sessions I have attended and all of that. So they do not somehow, like Bhavna ji use that word, resonate with me. I am more like Om kuch bolega to mujhe bahut acha lagta hai. I relate. I use a lot of that music in the morning. So my meditation is 1 hour in the morning. I use those music, and I am very traditional. So even if it is like
Mm.
every day, I will try to use some different meditational music. So I think, but you should think that I am not evolved enough and I have not experienced. I am very, very transactional. Once in a blue moon, I will attend your session, and then that is not enough. So that is how I think. And like I said, our people are at slightly lower end of the demographic profile. Our nature of our business, they are not very. I mean, they will, whatever you do, they will say, very good, sir. It was very useful. Whatever you go, because it is for them, it is like being put over them. So whatever you sort of organize, you are not able to judge that.
Right. It's very interesting. So, Nagesh sir, I mean, you mentioned about a spiritual quotient, right? And also happiness quotient. And from the happier perspective, also, we are seeing that more and more corporates are now getting aligned to this thought process, actually, like trying to bring in spirituality in their companies, in their organizations and all. And our experience also with our corporate clients, I mean, where we have been able to run our programs. And I was reading something on Google where the company as such is having certain spiritual initiatives in the company, and they found a lot of behavioral changes occurring. And especially Mahindra Tech and all these companies have got meditation rooms and stuff and all in their organizations. And right where I'm speaking, I mean the all other side, Oracle offices, and there is a meditation room right this wall itself. So what I realize is that there is a growing demand, you can say, or growing interest in this area. So, and how do you see this going forward? Both Bhavna and you and others can also contribute.
See, from my perspective, this is just the beginning actually. What has been happening is, over the years, almost everybody, every company has been seeing their employees or their people as physical creatures. Okay? At the end of the day, we should not be judged by our actions, but what our mind says. Actions are as a result of the thought in your mind. Okay? And like I said, the UKA world is always there. There's always a strife in our mind. The strife could be because of the challenges of the job. It could be because of challenges of relationship. It could be challenges of where you stay. It could be challenge of what's your educational background. It could be the challenge of your surround when from your birth to your current time. So people are recognizing that there is a strife in people's mind on different dimensions, and they need to be addressed. When I say they need to be addressed, what I mean is there is a way of getting out of this strife. I mean, when you refer to Buddha, like I said, Buddha believed that suffering is inevitable, right? Strife is inevitable. So you've got to address it and you've got to take it away. There is a systemic approach for taking it away. One of the things is mind controls our action. If the mind can be put at rest, our actions will be equanimous, will be even, and the results will be far better. So there is a realization that is required. And as I said, this is just the beginning. Even if you remember in our conversations about a year or 2 years ago, I said, listen, there is a huge gap, enabling gap in this space. We have got to get there. It will help the companies and their employees. I firmly believe in that. This is just the beginning. You change the mind, you change results.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you recognize that you are a small player in a big universe, but all of us are connected in one way or the other, that's when realization really sets in. That's when you start acting not just for yourself, but for the society and for the people who are with you.
Absolutely.
So it is you exponentially visualize it from 7 billion people in this world. See the effect, imagine the effect. That's called utopia, but it will get there.
Right. Rajan, you were saying something.
I was just on a lighter note. I was saying, जैसे yoga and Modi ji ने बिल्कुल पूरा in the last few years we have seen a complete sort of acceptability to yoga
Mhm.
It has actually caught the attention of the nation and even abroad. So I think there is this something like that in what basically this meditation thing. I think it is very important in whatever form, whether it is music or whether it is from meditation or whatever chanting. But I personally feel that somebody has to give that thought leadership at different levels. I think that is how it will change. Currently, people, I mean, there are different forms and different ways in which it is happening.
Very true, very true, very true.
So
So,
even those, I mean, those silence sessions and some music related thing. I think that is what I.
right, right, right.
Jwalant, with your permission, may I respond to Rajanji?
Ji, sir.
A quick one, Raj, just from a very practical and real situation. See, what happens is all of us see meditation, yoga as enablers and facilitators, which they are. But it requires a lot of discipline. Many of us do not have that discipline because of situational realities. Okay. The best way to start off, in my personal view, and that's how I journeyed along, is try and get some time for yourself every day, whether it's half an hour, 15 minutes, or 1 hour, whichever point of time in a day. Start with that. That itself will see the change happening in you, according to me.
No, thank you very much. And I, in the first hour in the day, I force feed a lot of positivity. So I am part of a satsang group, and there are a lot of these positive videos every day, and I relish them, and I enjoy along with my morning hot water and all of that. So that is, but I think that is what I'm saying. That it's also a meditation, but slightly of a different kind. What this thing that you are saying, Jolanji, iska thoda sa, I think we have to maybe you can organize a camp here, and once we start sort of in a disciplined manner, if we are practicing,
Right.
maybe that will then the benefits will come.
Right, right, right. We have Vishal here. Vishal actually comes from a global group, global lifestyle. And I know that this company also has runs meditations and programs there. Vishal, I mean, can you contribute anything if you want to share? Okay, Bhavna, what's your take on this?
I was listening to Rajanji, and he talked about people in his organization and the level at which they may be in their lives. And I was just thinking, typically when you feel the need for something, you go seeking it, which is, for instance, Rajanji, what you are doing. I mean, the fact that you took out time for this session is where you felt a need, and now you're just trying to see how that need can be fulfilled with some instrument or tool which you have not yet found. Right. And to me, this you used a term, I don't know who used, but authentic, right? And for somebody who's authentic enough to understand that they have a need and that there is something somewhere that can fulfill the need, but they've not yet reached. Yes, that's what we are all seekers, right? And the fact that, you realize that folks in your organization may not be at the level at which you are right now. I think the fact that you realize that and you acknowledge it is itself a big positive, I would say, for all your team members, because you are not expecting them to actually think the way you are thinking, because you've traversed a journey and you are where you are today, and the journey will continue like it will for all of us. And the same thing for them. They're probably at just a different stage of their journey, and they may or may not have felt the need. And the reason I brought up the authentic term is it's kind of not related to what I just said, but a lot of times, we need to literally role model for people what it is that we think is good behavior or good practices, right? And when people see it, so including, for instance, that let's say Jwalanji ran a session for your team, right? And he got some nice yoga, meditation, and everything done. And they all did it because you told them to do it. And at the end of it, when you ask them, oh, how was it? Everybody like, yeah, very good, because the boss has said it. And suddenly you are the one who says, it was very good, but just the way you articulated it right now, I'm not there yet. I'm not sure that this is going to help me in the long run, or will this help me, or has it helped me, or am I on the right path? The minute you do this for your people, they know it is okay to not fall in line. They know it is okay that they did not like something that you organized for them, because you yourself have role modeled that behavior. So to me, just two aspects I wanted to respond on. One, the fact that it's okay, people are at different parts of their journey. Like the person I was trying to, kind of elevate their suffering, and they just refuse to do it. And the fact that when we role model behaviors, people actually start doing it. So I have folks on my team who will come and tell me on my face that they did not like what I said because it didn't make sense to them. And then there are folks who are still not there yet. They feel they need to fall in line. Otherwise, I will come on them with a ton of bricks. So just on those two aspects, Jalanji, I wanted to respond.
Thank you. So great points. Yes.
Okay.
Like your
I just want to add to I just want to add what Bhavnaji said. See, in our organization, I really made it voluntary. I said that you just experience it. If you like it, you do it. If you don't like it, don't do it.
Yes.
And you are very free to tell me if you don't like it. And there's no imposition, because I'm the CEO of the company, so you have to attend it. Nothing like it. Very clearly, I give them this message.
Right.
And so some of the people came and they say, no, they feel more disturbed out of it.
Right.
After doing it, yeah. They don't like it. I told them to try it, give them some sessions, few sessions.
Right.
And out of them, some of them then retained afterwards.
Right.
And some of them left and came again. So it is to be experienced, basically.
Yeah.
So it was great.
There will be some eureka moment. Sometimes you will get that eureka moment. Oh, wow, this is
right.
And we have been sort of, our mind is wandering everywhere. Yaar, ye kya ho raha hai? I mean, maybe I'm doing something. So I think that is very true, and I'm not as articulative as you, Bhavna ji. आप तो बिल्कुल magical हैं. You are like, it looks like you have rehearsed when you speak. It's like the debates that we used to speak. I mean, every word is like measured and.
Thank you.
Maybe it is like.
So we really had a good discussion. With this, I'll try to close the panel discussion, and thank you very much, Monica, and over to you.
Jolanji, it was a beautiful experience you created with other speakers, Bhavna ji and Nagesh ji. Thank you so much for your contributions. One question I would like to ask, any of the speakers can answer that. I read it somewhere that you escalate or enhance yourself so much, or raise yourself to so much height, that any person who's coming in your circle or in your vicinity gets transformed on his or her own during the period of time. How true is this?
देखो यार, अभी पता तो कुछ नहीं है मोनिका इसके बारे में, मगर जब पता चलेगा तो जरूर बताएंगे। मगर
मतलब आपकी वाइब्रेशन ऐसी है कि आप जैसे हैं वो आप लिटरली दे बिकम अ कॉपी ऑफ योर्स। आई रेड इट समवेयर।
ऐसा पता नहीं मुझे कहाँ पे हुआ ही है या कहाँ से आपने पढ़ा है, या आप मेरे लिए कह रहे हैं या किसी और के लिए कह रहे हैं?
No, in general, I'm saying I read it somewhere. Is it true? Is it possible?
But बुद्धा के साथ ये जरूर हुआ है, और कुछ एनलाइटन मास्टर्स हैं। मैं अभी बाबूजी की बात कर रहा था। बाबूजी was another enlightened soul on this earth, and who was not too far away from Delhi and Noida, in a city called Shahjahanpur.
Okay.
He lived a very modest life. He was a grahast completely, and his teachings were about Sahaj Marg and stuff. And now बाबूजी के आसपास आने से आपको एक बड़ी खूबसूरत सी वाइब्स आती थी। मैं तो बहुत छोटा था उस वक्त। I was doing my graduation actually, and when I was staying in his house in Shahjahanpur along with my mother, because my mother and father both were Babuji's disciple. और जब मैं वहाँ पे उनके साथ था तो मुझे कोई लेना देना नहीं था कि उनकी स्पिरिचुअलिटी, उनके ज्ञान भरे डिस्कशन वगैरह से। मैं तो मदर के साथ जाता था, बढ़िया खाने को मिलता था, और दूसरा जो बाबूजी के ग्रैंडसन थे उनसे मेरी दोस्ती थी, और उस टाइम पे हम दोनों ही सिगरेट पीते थे, और हम दोनों, एक कमरा था हमारे पास, हम उसमें चले जाते थे। मैं शरद की बात कर रहा हूँ और वहां पे हम लोग अपना छिप के सिगरेट भी पीते थे, बड़ा सा घर था, हमें क्या स्पिरिचुअलिटी से लेना देना। मगर कमाल था ये कि वहां पे सिगरेट पीने का मन नहीं करता था, और बाबूजी के आसपास रहने का जी करता था। और दूसरी मजे की बात ये थी कि बाबूजी ने एक बार मुझे बस धीरे से कह दिया कि जाओ मेरे खाट पे सो जाओ, मेरे बिस्तर में सो जाओ। मैं पूरी रात उस बिस्तर में सोया हूँ मजे से, और सवेरे जब मैं उठा हूँ तो मैंने देखा बाबूजी वहां पे एक आराम कुर्सी थी, उस पे बैठे हुए थे। मैंने चारी साहब जो उनके सबसे बड़े डिसाइपल थे उनसे पूछा, मैंने कहा कि बाबूजी, वेयर डिड बाबूजी स्लेप्ट? ही सेड ऑन द चेयर। एंड वेयर डिड यू स्लीप? ही सेड राइट हियर ऑन द फ्लोर। तो ये कंपैशन, ये प्रेम, ये उनका वो, और जब आप उनके आसपास होते थे तो केवल बाबूजी को सुनने का जी करता था, और वो इतना धीरे बोलते थे कि अगर आप अटेंटिव नहीं हैं तो आप सुन नहीं सकते हैं। इतनी धीरे से उनकी आवाज आती थी, और इतनी प्रोफाउंड आवाज आती थी, राइट। तो ये जो एनलाइटेंड सोल्स हैं उनके साथ ये जरूर होता है कि उनका एक एनर्जी फील्ड है। उस फील्ड में जब आप जाते, तभी तो कहते हैं बुद्धा फील्ड, जहां पर ध्यान होता है उसको बुद्धा फील्ड कहते हैं। बुद्धा फील्ड का मतलब है किसी भी गुरु की कोई भी फील्ड हो, उसको बुद्धा फील्ड है वो। क्योंकि बुद्धा डजंट मीन ओनली सिद्धार्थ गौतमादि बुद्धा, नॉट any enlightened soul is a Buddha. So Buddha feel. तो अगर आप उसमें जाते, और आज भी आप जाइए, आप एलोरा जाइए, हम लोगों ने तो एलोरा में कैंप्स किए हैं, आप खजुराहो जाइए, आप जहाँ पे ज्यादा ध्यान हुआ है वहां पे जाइए, आप वहां जाइए बहराइच में जेतवन, जहाँ पे बुद्धा ने चतुर्मास किए हैं, और आप आज भी जेतवन में जाइए जहाँ बुद्ध की गाथाएं कही गई हैं, आपको वो एनर्जी फील्ड का स्पर्श मिलेगा, उसकी फीलिंग मिलेगी, और उसमें आप अपने आप को एक बिल्कुल डिफरेंट जोन में पाएंगे। तो इसका होता है असर, इसमें कोई शक नहीं है मोनिका जी। मगर मेरी यात्रा में अभी ये मकाम आया नहीं, तो जब आएगा तो जरूर बताऊंगा आपको।
Thank you so much. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके जोलन जी।
शुक्रिया।
Okay, we have another activity breakout room. उससे पहले we have two more new participants, Mohita and Sujata, and I would request both of them turn by turn. Please introduce yourself with your video on, and please unmute yourself. Mohita, followed by Sujata. Please introduce yourself to the group.
Thank you, Monica.
Hi.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry I have reached late, and my apologies. I'm hearing this very interesting conversation, and I'm now feeling that, oh, why did I not come? Thoda pehle aa jati. And very rightly, Jalan ji, aap jo keh rahe hain, that description of Buddha is very different. And I completely agree with what Rajan ji said about Bhavna. Bhavna, you have a wonderful way of expressing yourself. So I'm Mohita. I am a movement facilitator. So what are movement facilitators? We are people who work in the field of mental health and physical health, both. So we are certified from UNESCO under Council of International Dance, and there also Movement Therapy Association in India. We work, my company that I run is called Movement Matters. And we work both in the field of mental and physical health with the aim that we are going to be able to change the way this country perceives mental and physical health. So normally when mental physical health is it's a paradigm which is separated. So we like to bring that under one roof. And to put it very simply, we teach movement intelligence and we teach emotional intelligence. When we work in movement intelligence, we teach posture. We teach how to move authentically, organically, the way we did as babies. How is the human body designed? to work so that it remains ageless and agile? How can my mind be focused? What are these movement secrets? That so there's a long journey behind it. When we teach emotional intelligence, of course, we work with teams, corporates, and movement intelligence. We work through online programs which are called Posture Better. These are online programs, very affordable, and we teach through creative manners. And the studio is in Noida, in Sector 44, close to Amity School. It is also the only somatic and expressive movement studio in India. I am blessed to have had very good teachers and very good support. So when I started, I didn't know where I was going, but there was a purpose in my head. So it has been here for a while now, and very grateful to be here today, sharing my work around.
Great to know about you, Mohita. And Happy O is also located in Noida in 132, right?
Oh, then we are not very far off, Jalanti.
I'm putting my number in the chat box, and you can please send me across your number.
I will do that.
In the coming weeks, we may connect. Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Can I request Sujata to please introduce herself? Sujata, are you there? I can't see her in participant list. Khushbu, I think she has not joined yet.
Yeah, I don't think she's there.
So,
I think, yeah, she's dropped off. So we can continue with the
she's
next.
dropped, I think.
Yeah.
So we can continue with our breakout session. We'll have a short.
Can I say something?
Yeah, Mohita, please. Yeah, please.
Yeah, also that Khushbu and Shabana have been very kind, and we are hosting a session next week on movement secrets. And I would invite each one of you there. Please do come and see what it looks like. I'm sure I could learn a lot from you, and maybe I can share something with all of you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mohita.
It's a
We
free
look forward to your session.
Yeah, it's a free session, and all of we would love to have everyone, with your families and friends and team members in the session.
I'd like to. Can I take 1 more minute, Khushbu?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So when we talk about semantics, very few people understand what is semantics. But of late, I have found that more and more people are getting engaged on how we can remain happier. So we call it finding happiness through posture. The program itself, Posture Better, is geared towards that. And today I was very blessed that we had a very senior person, Mr. Ashok Arora, who actually came. We had the graduation of the 4th batch today. We've been running these batches, and this is the 4th batch that graduated today. And he came today and he said that this is the kind of work that must go out, and how we can remain more agile in our mind and bodies. So I wanted to share that please do come over. It will be my greatest privilege and honor to share the work of my teachers with all of you.
Thank you, Mohita. We'll have another breakout activity wherein all participants can share their support, what they are seeking, and how they can support other team members so that we all can grow together at Maven. So I would request Khushbu and Shabana to kindly, create those rooms, breakout rooms, and can allot members, 2 to 3 members per room.
Monica, if I suggest, because of we are already in a small breakout room, right?
Yeah.
So we can instead of creating anything else, we can.
Okay, if it is comfortable with everybody, then we can begin. I think, yeah, it is a great idea. We never thought about it. See, that's what happens when we use collective consciousness.
No, I understand. Yeah.
I'm not very clear about the objective of this activity. Can you please repeat and reiterate?
Yeah, so this business meeting was also, there's another objective of creating networking skills and, share our network so that our other team members can grow together.
Oh,
so
sure.
Here in this activity, one by one, you can share what your reference or any connect, you can share with other team members so that it can help the other person to take a step forward in their business life. That's the only objective.
I see. Then go ahead. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can
So
do it in the collective group
yeah,
as well. So
collective group
maybe
we
all
can
of
do.
us can share, any support that we are looking for in particular. And if anybody can offer that support, it could be a support with a referral, or it could be support
Yeah.
in any other form. It could be maybe a hiring requirement or any challenge a
Yeah.
person is
So
facing.
I'll initiate from myself. If anybody needs any reference, any entry in schools, particularly, or institutions, they can connect directly with me, Monica. I'll share my number also in the chat box, so you can share with me. You can get back to me. That's how I can support you. Thank you.
Yeah, and Monica, what support do you need? You can share that as well.
Yeah, I would require more connect with corporates. I do corporate trainings as well. So if anybody could connect me with corporate, any pharma, any FMCG companies where I can, pitch in my training programs of leadership as well as sales and marketing, that would be helpful. Thank you.
So would anybody,
Any other person would like to, or shall we call out names?
yeah, so maybe we can ask, if anybody needs any connect with any schools, or can support you connect with connecting to.
Okay, we'll begin with the Mohita. Mohita, will begin with you then. Any reference or any how you can support the other team members?
So I have, if anyone requires contacts in a corporate, for example, you said, Monica, I could talk to HCL,
Okay.
right? And some other corporates also that I'm working with. And hospitals, if someone needs a connection in hospitals, if anyone needs anything in the legal circle,
Okay.
any connects you need in the legal circle, the bar associations, maybe you want to promote your programs, please do let me know. I can do that.
Sure.
Anybody who wants, so anybody who's pitching their programs and wants to add a wellness vendor, that can also be done. A lot of people do that because Monica, the people who lead leadership programs, they are often asked to have a complete deck. Supposing they want to add a new angle to their wellness desk, then they say that nowadays posture is so important. So a lot of my friends who work with HR expertise do that. They add they use us as a plugin.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm happy to associate that way also.
Thank you so much. Rajanji, can we have from you?
So I, like I was mentioning, that I run a GIS mapping company, and we are constantly looking for people in the software, in the AutoCAD technicians, GIS resources with domain specific knowledge like telecom, utilities, electrical utilities, civil engineering background, all these building information managements, BIM, space, LiDAR, drones. So if any one of you have any people in your network, you can connect those people to me. And also we are looking always on a lookout for, I've realized in my personal journey in the corporate world that people at, say, when they reach a age of 50, when they are at their prime time serial, जिसे कहते हैं ना 9 बजे वाला slot. So unfortunately, the corporate world treats such high-end professionals not very well because उनकी salaries बढ़ जाती हैं, उनका एक profile बढ़ जाता है, और वो prime time में lot of people leave the corporate world. Whereas if you look at the country, our prime minister is running the country like no one else at the age of 70. So वो 50 से 70 वाला जो एज ग्रुप है वो इतना प्राइम है, और बहुत सारे लोग बाग उसमें because of their egos or their false notion of their value, so they'll say मेरा तो last package इतना था, so I cannot sort of compromise. I hope you understand what I'm saying, at least people in the corporate world. So we have made some progress in enabling such senior professionals with deep domain knowledge, उनका थोड़ा ego को हम मसाज करके, उनके skills पे काम करके, उनको एक platform दे देते कि यार आपको जो करना है ना आप करो. It will be like a semi-entrepreneurial kind of a platform that we want to
Any
give.
support you need, and any support you need
So
from the group?
if you know such professionals who are struggling or who want a second innings and who have some deep domain expertise where they are just stopping short of starting their own business because उनको लग रहा है investment करना पड़ेगा, risk होती है, तो हम उसको share करेंगे and for a win-win kind of a model.
Okay, thank you. Next in line, Mr. Bhagya Chandra.
Yeah, hi, this is BC Rao. See, first and the foremost, as far as what I can extend is about from my whatever the experiences I have gained over last 4 decades in the manufacturing space. You know, today this China plus one factor we get to hear a lot. If anybody is putting in some kind of an investments or investors are coming in from Europe or US or within the country, somebody is putting up, I can be an enabling support. Number two, what I look forward is like I already put up to Bhavna, you know, she is now expanding her network and reach. So I'm looking for more opportunities to get into the board where I can create an impact, create a difference with my experience in this. So particularly listed companies, that's what I look at it. Any reference that would be highly appreciated.
Any support you could give to the group? Any support?
Yeah, that's what I said. I can give if anybody is looking for something in the manufacturing, engineering, auto component. Okay. I can be a sounding board and provide an enabling support.
Okay. Vijay Chopra ji. Vijay ji, are you there? Okay. Vijay Chopra ji.
Yeah. We are a company where we have very good, excellent hard skills of the people. In fact, we need some support. You can put somebody to us in touch with us for the soft skills like team skills and other things. Because we are competing with companies like Schlumberger, Halliburton, all multinational companies. Though we are a small company, we compete with those as far as our technical capabilities are concerned.
What is your technical expertise, Chopra ji?
Our technical expertise is all technology stacks, basically for gas and oil exploration. So we develop software for those companies. And very, very high-tech softwares. Only companies like Schlumberger and Halliburton and all those make. So those kind of things we are doing here. Our software helps you locate where the oil is, what depth it is, and what quality it is, how long the reservoirs will last. So all simulation softwares, all characterization softwares, all those we make here. And use all web applications. We have a complete stack of technologies here with us. Good skill, highly skilled people from good institutes. So we were thinking of developing some soft skills so we could get some good people, some good trainer for our requirement. Yeah.
So, Rajan, चोपड़ा जी and I go a long way, and आज जो कुछ भी मैं हूँ उसमें चोपड़ा जी का बहुत हाथ है. And, yes, sir, yes. I mean, very rarely I get this opportunity to actually confess this. So it is like that. And Chopra ji was in Pickup. That is the UP government's project financing arm. And he did some fabulous work there. And then gradually he went on to different companies and then finally became an entrepreneur. And now he's doing so well from Lucknow. So it's really a big thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
I guess thank you everybody for sharing your contacts and references. We can, I think, get back to each other after meeting for any kind of support which is required. And before concluding this lovely session, I would request everybody to share their learning or reflections from this entire session today. how this session can help you. Should there be such kind of more sessions? Any kind, anything you would like to share, your feedback, your reflections, your learnings?
So will you share numbers of each and every person?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, Rajan, we'll be creating a group, a WhatsApp group of all the attendees, and there we all can share our numbers and we can take our association forward.
Vijayji's number. Vijay Chopraji's number.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
And Vijayji, we do have a trainings for soft skill and productivity and agile training as well. So we have great trainers. So we will definitely would love to connect to you. And yeah, at Maven, like we always invite the trainers as well as happy to connect with the corporates and companies where we can also provide our services.
Thank you.
Yeah. And it has been really wonderful session. So I think we should also give opportunity to Jwalanji and Bhavnaji and Nageshji to share.
Yeah.
What support you or you would like to share.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are just
once
a bit
again,
over time.
if any
Just it's
it's okay.
If it's
minute
okay, we
only.
can extend 5 minutes.
What I'll do is I will send you the list.
5 minutes more.
There is no problem. Yeah.
So I think let us hear Jwalanji and Bhavnaji.
Bhavnaji and Nageshji.
Yeah.
Let's hear again them. Yeah, sure.
See, Happy Ho is into emotional wellness, and we are now very aggressively taking forward after the COVID, I would say, opening up and all. So we are now renewing our sessions with the corporates and all. And also that we have opened our office, so we have started getting our regular clients coming back for their regular sessions like healing and other things as well. And but I'm always on a lookout of having more trainers, more coaches to work with me, because personally I'm a coach. We are also doing a lot of business coaching, executive coaching, happiness and meditation coaching as well. So any connect in that sphere or any corporate connect in that sphere, I mean, would be great. So we can figure it out. And Bhavna and Nagesh, mentors in Happy Ho, and they have been contributing through their strategic thinking and ensuring that we remain on course of growth. So that's how it is. Yeah.
So Bhavnaji is part of Happy Ho?
Bhavna is also part of Happy Ho.
And Nageshji also?
Yes.
Nageshji also. Okay. So, any reflection from any of the participants? How was the session?
Yeah, I would like
learnings.
So I must congratulate all the speakers. And during the meditation, I was actually, because it's so calming, like, so your mind actually gets the time to think. So I got a lot of ideas also while I was doing the meditation, when Jwalanji were saying like thoughts will come and go. And really I got few great ideas to work on. So I think these meditations are so important if you really want to be creative in the business domain. So thank you so much for creating it. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Shabana. Thank you so much. And Chopra साहब, नागेश जी आपकी एजेंसी के अर्स्टवाइल एजेंसी उल्का के चेयरमैन रहे हैं.
Oh my God! Oh, great. Okay. Oh. Okay.
So I guess the objective of today's session is successfully achieved, and we have wonderful speakers, who have not shied away from even sharing a single, information, minute of information. I'm so thankful to all the speakers in today's platform. और मुझे जहाँ तक अपनी personal, I feel that I feel scaled up a little bit, not much, but I feel a little bit scaled up today from the level I was before the beginning of the session. And I thank all the participants for taking their time off their busy schedule. And I hope this session worked for you too as well. And I would like to thank Maven for creating such a beautiful thing here. Shabana, Khushbu, would you like to say something before we conclude?
Yeah. Yeah. So we
Just
will,
wanted to.
sorry, just one line. Next month we also have the Maven Business Week and Learning session, and we will have the Paritosh Pathak, and he will be, creating the role of networking in the business domain. So we would really like to invite all of you to participate, and let's take it forward. Yeah. And there will be more people as well.
So
Yes.
I thank once again. Thank you so much.
Khushbu wanted to say something.
Yeah, please.
Thank you everyone, and thanks for the wonderful session, Jalanji, Bhavnaji, Nageshji, and for all participants. We would really like to have your feedback on the WhatsApp group. We'll be creating that soon. How was the session for you? And maybe if you can list down the support that you mentioned that we need on the group itself. So we can really so that it's not just in words, but actually we can support each other and action it out, because that is the purpose we want to create for this business meet. We have started it after lockdown, as in after the COVID period, after a long time, and we hope to continue and grow it big. So so let's support each other and grow and learn together. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you everybody again for attending,
Thank
and
you.
thank you once again,
Thank
speakers,
you.
Bhavna ji, Nagesh ji, and Jwalant ji. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you, Jalanji, so much. And thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.